the screen?
Where is?
Windows P.
Okay. It's actually,
What happened?
why it's not coming actually. I have opened this and
It's blank page.
actually it's Google slide, I think. Let's see.
Maybe the big screen.
So I think, yeah, good afternoon everyone. So welcome you all to this section. So my name is Pooja Raghunath. I am actually Odoo functional consultant and implementer at Browseinfo. So with 6 year plus of experience in Odoo ERP, like I have successfully implemented Odoo in different industries, that is from trading, manufacturing, then pharmaceuticals, as well as and much more industry like in retail stores too. So this is a quick intro about myself. So yeah, so let me take you through our company. So we are Browseinfo. So we are Odoo Gold partners, and last year also we have received India's best partners in 2024. So we are actually into Odoo implementations. So we also, besides Odoo implementation, we also do custom developments, web developments. Along with that, we also provide user trainings and supports. So this is a quick brief, and as you can know, like we have around 1,500 plus apps in our Odoo App Store, and we have actually served around in 18 plus of industries and across 80 plus countries also. So this is a quick brief about our company. Now actually in this section I will highlight, or let's say I will spotlight about DSA. So DSA is actually a leading suppliers of building materials, furnitures, hardwares, sanitary wares. So they are actually like have 7 distinct companies including 35 branches. So which includes multiple warehouses including 1 central warehouses, and they are located in Somalia. Okay. So this is a short brief about DSA. So I will just show you the product portfolio also. So this is a simple product portfolio of the different industries that I have mentioned. So as mentioned that they are into sanitary ware, hardware, accessories, furnitures also, mesh products also, paints, tools and all. Yeah. So I would like to let you know about the vision. So actually when they came to us, so they are actually were using ERP Next. So in regards to ERP Next, the main motto was to centralize their entire system, because as I mentioned, they are having 7 distant company with 35 branches. So in ERP Next, actually they were facing little difficulties on that. So the main requirement of that client was we have to place it like in a single database, which will include 1 central parent company. Okay. So that was the main vision of that company, where we have to transform ERP Next to Odoo. Okay. Now let me just take you through the journey of Browseinfo and DSA also. So actually the project was commenced at the end of 2023. So actually when the client was exploring Odoo, I think they were like 2 weeks here in India itself. So they were exploring actually the Odoo partners who can actually transform their like operations from ERP Nest to like Odoo. So while during that process flow itself, they have came across our company, which is Browseinfo. So we are gold partners as mentioned. So yeah, actually like we have gained their trust like through the detailed requirement gathering sections and all. And touchwood, like within I think 1 week after a brief discussions about the requirement, we have actually freezed as well as logged the requirements, and soon we have started the implementations also. And I think we have successfully completed the implementation within the given deadline, or maybe let us say before the deadline itself, because that was actually a way part of challenging, because they were having 7 different distant companies, and each companies have some around 10 to 6 branches also, which makes a total of 35 branches. So that was actually a bit challenge, but hopefully we have completed within the deadline, or let us say before the deadline itself. So this is about a quick brief about how we met DCA. Actually they were into our office also. They stayed with us, enjoyed everything. Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned that they were using ERP Next. So in regards to ERP Next, they were facing certain challenges. Like one most thing that I mentioned is in regards to the centralization of the companies, right? So as mentioned, 7 distinct companies and 35 branches. So that was the main, they were not able to include it into a single database. So that was the main challenges when they were using ERP Next. Now secondly, they were also having an extensive manual work, which were actually making their day-to-day operations in inventories, everything, like it was a bottleneck for them. So that was the other challenges that they actually faced during that. And also ERP Nest has given them a limited integrations ecosystem in regards to that also. So with Odoo, we also helped them in regards. And as I mentioned, like this DCA company have around like 150 plus users, okay. So in regards to 150 plus users, the HRMS management for them in ERP Next was again a trouble, because they were not able to like easily manage the things over there in ERP Next in regards of appraisal, yearly incentives, then promotions and all. So these were actually the bottleneck or pain points that they were facing while they were using the ERP Next. Okay. So in regards to their challenges or the bottlenecks, so these were the proposed solution that we have done for them. So first, the most important thing that was a main part of their implementation was centralizing the database, like centralizing the entire company and branches into a single database. Along with that, we have also implemented CRM, sales, purchase, inventory, accounting, project manufacturing, and the entire HRMS system. Okay. Now as I mentioned, we have also implemented a multiple warehouse setup, where they have a single like parent or central warehouse. Along with that, they also have a intercompany transaction, since they have multiple branches and companies. So we have also like initiated and implemented multi-warehouse setup as well as intercompany transactions. Okay. So besides that, we also have given them a brief like logistic integration. So they were into GoComet actually. So GoComet integration was actually not possible for them for ERP Next. So we have also like resolved their issues in regarding to the integrations. And also as I mentioned, like they were having different companies. So we have also designed and deployed a tailored financial reports, which will include all companies and branches reports. Okay. So this is in regards to HRMS. As I mentioned, like they are having some 150 plus users. So 150 plus users, for those we have implemented Odoo. There were certain modules such as we have implemented efficient appraisal process flow, which was apart from like way apart from the Odoo appraisal, which includes yearly incentives and all, and along with that loan setup, attendance tracking, and these are the few things that we have done in regards to HRMS, that is management of promotions, then disciplinary tracking systems and everything. Okay. Okay. So as I mentioned, like they were into like they are leading suppliers of different materials, building materials, furniture, sanitary wares and hardware. So as I mentioned, they have a central warehouse system okay, multiple warehouse plus one central warehouse. Along with that, they also have a physical warehouse. So, we have made a GoComet integration, so which is actually a fleet management itself. So, it offers shipment tracking, rate management as well as fleet optimization. So, in regards to GoComet integration, before moving into that, I would like to just brief about how this works. So, actually this client generally have two different types of purchases. One is local purchases and one is international purchase. So, local purchase is nothing but like they do within Somalia itself, whereas international purchase is somewhere where they explore internationally. So, in that scenario, this GoComet was mainly integrated for the international purchase orders. So, in case of international purchase order, let me just give you a quick example of that. So, let us say they have different suppliers, okay. So, let us say they are buying different products from their suppliers in China, okay. And they also, like, since I mentioned there are 7 distinct companies and 35 branches, okay. So, in that scenario, each branch will have different options, like they will create different POs with different suppliers in China itself, okay. So, what they do is that they order the product from China suppliers, okay. From there, like actually these actually have a virtual warehouse, or let us say a physical warehouse in China. So, what they do is that they buy it from different suppliers from China, they store it in their physical warehouse, or they consider it to be in their physical warehouse, and from there only they bring it to, or from there actually they use the GoComet integration, okay. And another thing is that this GoComet shipment, they doesn't like, they will only complete that integration, like let us say GoComet once the entire container is full, which means that it may include different POs from branches, companies. So, all together only they will consider it as a one container and will ship it. So, this actually have different steps. So, the main point in regards to this is that, as I mentioned, for international purchase order, it has different steps. So, the most like highlight point was in regards to different transfers, that is from the vendor location to China location, then China to transit, and then to our stock. We have all done it with default Odoo routes and rules and all. So, that is the main point, that we doesn't have to do any customizations over there. We have all done it with default Odoo's routes and inventory management. So, this is just a brief about, just have differentiate about this, okay. So, you can see I have mentioned the transfer. Internal transfer was from China to transit and then to main warehouse. So, during this process flow only, when it reaches the virtual warehouse or physical warehouse, then it connects to GoComet. Then they have a real time tracking of the entire process, like where the product has been reached. And when it reaches to the client location, they have to, like they get a notification, and based on that they can manually validate it into the system also, okay. So, that is about the GoComet integration which we have done for them, okay. Now, next one is a sales commission automation. So, they generally has a process of calculating and managing sales commission. So, within the Odoo environment itself we have implemented. So, they have certain in-house salesperson itself. So, for which they need to initiate certain commission on each sales order they have done. So, in regards to that, we have done this sort of customization, where they include, like we have added 2 different types of commission types. One is fixed amount and based on percentage. So, it is actually based upon all about the client's requirement in regards to that. So, this module has also provided an efficient commission tracking for the customer, which includes a detailed report also with commission lines and all. So, this, as mentioned, that this module generates a report for specific time frame also if needed, and commission types as well as for salesperson. And one most important thing in regards to this is that it is actually integrated to, or let us say it is actually connected to the Odoo payroll module itself. So, you do not have to manually do that, just based on the timeline. If this is, we have done it this way, like based on the commission, it would be automatically computed in the payroll sections of that particular salesperson. So, this was a sales commission automation done for the client. So this is a quick brief about like how we have done the setup. Now the next thing that we have implemented for them was an advanced vendor evaluation. So as I mentioned, they are actually leading suppliers in different industries. So the main motto or the main thing for them was a vendor evaluation, because they frequently purchase this product from different vendors. So that was the main thing. So they actually had certain KPIs in regards to the vendors which need to be tracked in Odoo, so that next time when they are buying it from the vendor, they get an idea whether they have to or they don't have to. Because there were certain KPIs, let's say delivery time and what about the quality and all. So they actually had certain list of KPIs based on which we have implemented this module for them. So it also gives a brief report also. Then it was done quarterly basis, so that every quarter we can evaluate the vendors. Okay. So it's also provide a brief reporting also. Yeah. So that's an overview. This is just a certain KPIs they have mentioned. Okay. So we are into conclusion, but before going into conclusion, I would also like to let you know, like as I mentioned that they were using 150 plus users. So the HRMS management, actually we have done a certain part into HRMS also. So like say they were having a different appraisal system where they have certain KPIs to be tracked for the employees. Along with they also have a yearly incentive option also, which also need to be tracked in the system. So currently we didn't have an option, so we have fully customized it in such a way that after appraisal, that every month appraisals also, yearly basis we can compute this appraisals of the person. So it will like accumulate the values. And also there was certain, let's say, there was certain, but like we can say certain cost and all, which will be helping for them for this yearly incentive calculations. Now the next thing that we have done for them was an effective disciplinary tracking section. So usually in case of disciplinary tracking, it's just like you can create a form, but in their scenario, it was actually in 3 different phases. Like first, like sending the reminder message, then suspensions and terminations. So all of them actually we have incorporated into this one of the disciplinary tracking module itself. Then as I mentioned, like in regards to these, so actually implementing Odoo for them was a drastic change, because in case of ERP Next, they were having a lot of manual works, so which was actually a bottleneck for them in their day-to-day operations. So with Odoo implementation, it have actually made the system operations and process flow more efficiently. And yeah, so this is, and now we are also continuing like the other improvements that they want from us. So we are still into that process itself. So yeah, so this is all about our journey with like this is journey with Browseinfo. So yeah, we can move to questions and answers. Anyone? Yeah. Yeah, we do customization for manufacturing. So if you have any doubt, you can just pin us. We are also there in the booth. We can just chit chat on that. We do, yeah. Yeah. No, actually we have done it offline, but we also do on-site also, but it was completely offline since it belongs to Somalia. So it was around like 5 months we have done this. Yeah. No, from starting onwards he was using enterprise itself. Yeah. Anyone else? Okay, then I think we can conclude, then it's already a time they were saying.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
हाँ, so डीशे की प्रॉब्लम थी कि वो HR प्रोसेसेस मैनेज नहीं कर पा रहे थे ERP नेक्स्ट में. So रेडीमेड या फिर हाईली कस्टमाइज्ड अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, तो वो छोड़ के मतलब HR सॉफ्टवेयर प्लस ERP नेक्स्ट वो छोड़ के Odoo पे कैसे स्विच किया उन्होंने?
Like most of their requirement was actually there in default Odoo itself. So we don't want to extend or buy something other ERP. So जो Odoo में था, they have mostly used them, but few customization we have done for HRMS, but most of them were in default Odoo, so that was not that thing for us. Yeah. Anybody else? It was on SH. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for being here.